If this is your first visit to my channel, you're about to find out that I love teaching unique ways to look at and approach guitar playing. And this is especially true on my playlist called Rut Busters, where we look at the best ways to break out of old habits that might be making you bored with your own playing. And so today, we're really going to put on the metaphorical straitjacket and force ourselves to play an entire lead section with only one string. This is basically a more extreme version of my Think Sideways video, which I will link for you at the end of this since it's my most well-received Rut Buster. And before we start the music, I want to talk to you about how playing on one string is going to help break you out of what is probably the single biggest rut for most guitar players, and that's what's often referred to as playing in the box. Most of us learn pentatonic scales fairly early in our learning process, and they become like an anchor for us. You know, this box. We get used to playing this one pattern, and we know just to move the box around for different keys, but we don't learn what notes are in those keys, and we stay locked into that one pattern. Now, when I have to play on only one string coming up here, I actually need to learn the notes in the key that I'm in because each key is going to look unique. All right, let's roll that little lead example now, and then we'll come back and talk about how this is also forcing me to think more creatively. So one thing you'll notice I did right away was this position shifting stuff where I'm sliding and finding ways to not just slide one note at a time, but do little patterns. That kind of thing where you move around. And when you are good at playing a couple different boxes, like I was in B minor here, so maybe I know the B minor pentatonic, and maybe I also know over here a couple notes in the key. I have different boxes that I'm comfortable with. It's great to connect them. So you can mix this one note stuff with your box patterns and connect them until you've got the whole neck mapped out. Also in keys that work, you're going to find you use open strings to make interesting things to move up and down. I even came up with that thing, which is kind of an old 80s trick, where I was just doing the hammer-on and pull-offs and then slightly rubbing my finger or gliding my finger, which made for a neat kind of sound there. All of these things, by being limited, you're going to have to find ways to do things that you didn't think of before. Oh, and the last one too, I did that classical pattern and then just shifted to the next position. These kinds of things where you can shift pattern to pattern and find your way around on one string, it's all going to break you of just doing that the same boring stuff that you always do. Find limits, take the limits, and see where they take you that you've never thought of before. That's really the key to busting a rut. So again, this is one example. I'm going to link up the other video here for the really popular one, and check out the Rut Buster playlist on my channel. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I get back to everyone as soon as I can. And until next time, guys, keep making great music.